Welcome, everyone, to another episode of your favorite podcast, Create Your Joy. And it is our joy to bring it to you. My name is Shruti Goel, and I'm a self-love and empowerment coach. And I'm here with my colleague and friend, Ivania Liang, who is a purpose and mindset coach. And today we want to share with you a beautiful song called You Are Worth It by one of our favorite groups now, which is Fearless Soul. And we hope that you find a lot of inspiration and positivity from this song. And Ivania, if it's okay with you, I want to dive straight into the lyrics because this is an absolutely magnificent song. So we highly recommend that you listen to it on a search engine, using a search engine of your choice. And in the first verse, this is how the song begins. Stay in this moment right here. There's nowhere you need to go. Lay down your worries and fears. Breathe it in and you will know. And I love it because in this song, you're being given the actual steps of how to go within while being musically stimulated as on the level of a human being. So it's really beautiful in that. And again, as we know, the secret to finding joy is right where you are in the moment. And so it's letting you know to stay in the moment. There's nowhere you need to go. Whatever pressures our mind is putting on us about our to-do list, it's actually an illusion. We are exactly where we need to be, and lay down your worries and fears. I know and I understand that this is easier said than done, but it's also just one breath away for us. And the idea is that if you breathe it in, meaning if you slow down your breathing and pay attention to how you're alive in this moment, that's all that's needed to bring you away from your worries and fears. And I'll tell you that in my coaching work, how this happens, how this manifests for my clients is that their body and mind come into alignment in the moment when they focus on the breath versus how they're spending the rest of their day, which might be only stuck in their mind, not aware that they have a body. And then it keeps going on to the second verse. When it's time to let go, even if it's years from now, heal your mind and go slow. There's no race or finish line. And again, the simplicity of the words here. This is accessible for anyone, no matter what walk of life you're from. And so when it's saying it's time to let go, I'm really interpreting that to mean that it's time to let go your old ideas and limiting beliefs and things that you thought about yourself and judged yourself for being inferior, or the shadow parts of yourself that you could not bear to look at or accept. When it's time to let go, even if it's years from now. And I love this encouragement that it could be years. If you've just begun your journey to self-love, it's going to take some time uh, to undo those things within you. Heal your mind and go slow. And, you know, I love this reminder to go slow. And I know in our work together, Ivania, you have been the person that has brought this beautiful energy to me, this grace, I think, to just say, hey, we're going to go slow. And I think that's really where the mind heals, is in being allowed to take time and breathe in and exist where we are, rather than what the mind tends to want to do, which is go a million miles a minute and not do anything well and not pay attention to anything and be distracted. And I love this reminder again that there's no race or finish line. We live often our young lives in this rat race from the moment we enter school, till the time we graduate from college, if we're lucky enough to go to college and have a job. And we feel like we're in this rat race where we want to get married, we want to own a house, we have all these milestones. And yet it's a very interesting awakening when you realize that there is no finish line. Growth continues from the moment we're born till the moment we die. So with that, I just wanted to pause and also ask our audience to like and subscribe to this podcast if they're enjoying it, and to turn it over to you, Ivania, because I know you were hearing the song for the first time.
Yes.
How did it impact you?
Oh my God, it's such a beautiful song, Shruti. Thank you so much for bringing this song to my attention. I really love it. It's like it's speaking to my middle name, because I would say, like, for me, it's everything has to be slow. And not necessarily acting as slowly. I was just thinking that when you're in the zone, when you're doing something that you really love, enjoying it, it might be from the outside, it's like you're going a certain speed.
Yeah.
But when you actually doing it yourself, the way you're looking at it is very like you're going slow, because you have more clarity. And to me, that's always like, if I'm late for any reason, I try to don't rush. It's more be aware, so I don't be even later. So I don't get into my appointment even later than that. And I want to be there safe, like we mentioned it before. And I mean, I'm gonna go into the lyrics so we can continue with this. And one of the things I like now from this one, it says, "You are worth it." I think in this, just the line itself is just worth it. It says it all. Like, we are worth of everything that we entitled when we are born in this life. And it said, "You are powerful. You are bold. You let the light in. Life is colorful, and you are gold. In this moment, feel what you need to heal your soul." Just this, I want to break it down a little bit, because to me, this is what I love to do as a life coach and as a friend and as a sister and as a wife and as a mother, as a human being. I want to show every single person of how powerful they are. That's what I love doing coaching. And when I'm talking to someone, I want to put a mirror in front of them and show them how powerful they are. Because we have everything that we need. We just need the right guidance. We just need the right tools. We need the right skills. We just need like a roadmap so we can, grow into it. And we need to be bold. Like, you are bold in the sense that you stand on your ground, that you really know yourself and you're able to speak up. That's being bold. Bold to me is be able to be free and say, "I don't like that. I like this. I have these boundaries. I have these values." And that's being bold to me. Let the light in. When I said let the light in, is be graceful with yourself, so you're able to receive the light. The light, to me, it means the wisdom that will come with, that you reach out with your higher self, which is, your wise voice, your voice that's always telling you or guiding you in a way that's always looking out for you. I said, life is colorful and you are gold. When I said life is colorful, it means that we have different challenges. Not everything is, like they say, like rainbows and unicorns, but there's different colors, and that means that there's challenges, there are obstacles, there's joys, there is happiness, there is sadness, there's different colors. But you are gold. And then to me, gold, it means, but you are it. But you can create, you can choose the life that you want to live, or the environment that you want to, create for yourself. So that speaks to me. And then says, in this moment, feel what you need to heal your soul. And this is not taking you to the past, it's not taking you to the future. It's actually asking right this moment, what is it that you want to heal? Because we have different things that we have to heal. But if we choose just one to start with and take it slow, then we'll be able to heal ourselves. And it says you are worth it, you're valuable, your heart already knows. And I really like that because it says that your heart knows what's good for you.
Yeah.
And we just have to listen. We just have to listen to our heart, which is also in a way of listening to our wise voice, our higher self. We already know it, but we just have to listen to it. And it says curiosity can guide you. I like this because curiosity, when you have curiosity, you don't stop growing. You start always wondering and asking questions. And how can I get there? How can I do this? Can I learn that? How can I learn this? How can I learn this skill? Can I do that? I mean, can I, like, you're asking yourself questions that it will, kind of make you go for that, like make you for that goal. Like, even if you fail,
Yeah.
then then if it's good, if it's for you or not.
Yeah.
So I really like that. It said, I can guide you to places you never knew. New perspectives can shape you into the person that you knew. This is interesting because it said new perspective can shape you into that person you knew.
Mm.
Hmm. You know, this is something really interesting because it says that, of course, like we're learning so many perspectives, like you have a new perspective from this song, I have a different perspective, and
Yeah.
someone can have a different perspective. And not only that, but when we listen to a song, we are in a state of different states, not
Yeah.
just one, but different states, everyone. And then we listen to the song again and we create a new perspective because now we're in a different state.
Yeah.
But this one, what it says, can shape you into the person you knew. That means that your soul, your heart is not new. You know. And it's just like a reminder that you're worth it. Is that there's something new? Is that you're worth it?
Mm.
And that's really, really new. I really like that. Like it puts you right back, I said, because into the person that you knew. Because
Yeah.
we get lost and we become angry, we become anxious, depressed, all that kind of stuff. But then we come back into align ourselves, like you were saying earlier. And then you're able to recognize yourself to say, "Oh, this is me." Yeah, so I really like that. And it says into a person, was hiding below dirt, and oh, see, that's what I was saying.
Exactly.
Yeah, so was hiding below dirt and rubble from years ago.
Yeah.
And you writing your story, and don't forget to love yourself now. And
Wow.
that's what I was saying, like, we kind of get lost into this loud noises and also society, friends, partners, all that stuff, and we forget. But when we writing a story, meaning that when we get us a hold of ourselves and say, no, I'm going to move forward. I'm holding complete and resourceful and I'm worth it. Then you start writing your story. And also said, when you're doing that, don't forget to love yourself. Don't forget to nourish yourself. Don't forget that you're worth it. Don't forget that you are important as well. The same way that everyone outside is important to you, you're important to yourself. And you are your own responsibility. So I really love that.
Wow, Ivania, I loved what you shared here, and I just wanted to touch on one thing in this recent verse where you talked about new perspectives can shape you into the person you knew. I have a slightly different viewpoint on that, and because this is an experience of mine in the recent past where I used to feel very frustrated when I was younger about my limitations, about not being able to do things in the same way that other people could. And in fact, they made it look easy. And yet it was very, very difficult for me. And so, how I'm interpreting this is that now I have found a new perspective to look at why I used to feel so frustrated. And I have had a new understanding of how my brain is different, processes
Mhm.
things differently from other people around me, even if on the surface it looks like I'm like everyone else. In fact, because of the brain processing differences, I'm very different. And so it has let me feel at peace with who I used to be.
Yeah.
And it has brought sort of an integration between who I was and who I am today. And it, in a way, allows me to love a fuller sense of who I am.
Yeah.
And that those experiences, that frustration that I encountered was not without its own purpose. It led me to become the person that I am today. And so in that sense, there is some additional healing that
Yes.
that perspective has brought. So I really found that line very beautiful. And then when you said you're writing your story, you know, what came to my mind is how I began to literally write my story, in the sense that what helped to begin my healing process was to write down, to journal what my emotions were telling me. And I'm not talking intellectualizing, but rather helping helping me feel the emotions by writing down and looking at what was going on, rather than if it was just happening within my body. I had such a tendency to suppress it, to
Yeah.
suppress the emotion. So when it said you're writing your story, that's how I thought of it, is that you're literally writing down what's going on with you. And I can also write down compliments for how far I've come. You know, like one thing that I love to do is write a letter to my future self. And I place that, you know, 5 years in the future or something like that. And I'll write down what are the things that I want to have accomplished or how I want to have healed. And when you can give yourself that intention, you can work towards that intention. So there's a real sense of becoming active in your life rather than running from your automatic programming,
Yeah.
which I really love that this song is teaching us how. And if we keep going, we come back to this beautiful chorus, which you had explained earlier, which is that you are worth it, you are powerful, you are bold. You know, these are the words that I want to hear first thing when I wake up in the morning. think I think if there was a way for me to play this song for myself, this is a lovely hype song to get ready to in the morning, honestly. And then it says, let the light in. Life is colorful and you're gold. And I literally have this sense of throwing open a door and letting in all the sunlight, you know, and letting it shine on all parts of me, the parts of me that I have a difficult time accepting, the parts of me that other people admire, and everything in between, all the other parts that are really boring and no one would care to know them, but yet they're part of this beautiful rainbow. And all of this rainbow is surrounded by this gold outline, which is me giving myself some self-love. And so that's the image that this line brings up for me, is to let the light in. Life is colorful. These colors are gleaming and they're surrounded by this beautiful gold, which is your true self. In this moment, feel what you need to heal your soul. And I think this is maybe one of the most important lines in the song, because it's letting you know that the pathway to your healing is to allow yourself to feel. And I think that is such a core wound for so many of us, is we have not been allowed to feel our feelings.
Yeah.
Everything in our society teaches us to run away or suppress how we're feeling. You know, it's all about telling you to stop crying, or, you know, nothing happened, you know, or don't cry, don't make a big deal out of it. All of these messages take us away from the moment, you know. And so I really love this line. You are worth it. You are valuable. Your heart already knows. And I loved how you had said before that listening to the heart by toning down the distraction of the outside world is the best way to understand what the deepest parts of us want. And they already know. Our inner wisdom and our higher self is fully equipped to help us lead a meaningful life. And all we have to do is turn down the volume on the distractions on the outside. And finally, this next verse comes up, which says, the flames of anger, the waves of sorrow will slowly die down, but never disappear. And I think this is a valuable reminder that, sometimes people can have an expectation that their healing will come to an end someday. But in fact, we're meant to grow until the moment we die, you know? And so, yes, these flames of anger or the waves of sorrow will diminish in their intensity.
Mhm.
It's important for them to still be there because it's in the contrasts that we experience true joy. When you've suffered a lot and you come to a place, uh, where things feel peaceful and calm, you appreciate the peace more because you had been through the chaos. It doesn't mean that the chaos was okay or that your suffering, somehow, was something you deserved, but it's more that you were able to appreciate the peace and calm
Yeah.
more when you have been through a hard time. So they're meant to be, kind of this ebbing and flowing. You are stronger, you are wiser. The pain of your past can't define you. I want to make a poster and write that somewhere because so many of us feel inadequate because of mistakes we have made in the past or because of the pains that we have suffered in the past when someone has judged us as inferior. And yet, if we can look at it with clear-sightedness in the present moment, you know that those words have no power over you anymore. They were in the past, they're gone, and you can choose to live it differently. So I love the chorus and the verses in this song because again, it's giving us that step by step of what to do to value yourself, to recognize who you are.
Oh,
Yeah.
beautiful.
And I'm bringing it back to you, Ivania, if there's anything else about the chorus you wanted to share.
Well, you're in the chorus after that, continue with the chorus. You're worth
Yeah.
it, you're powerful, you're bold, let the light in. Life is colorful, like it's pumping you up. It's like we call it, like it's like a mantra. We always try to go back to the mantra because it's also like trying to put that in our brain, like in our subconscious. Don't forget, you're bold, you're powerful, you're worth it. And like you said, if we do that every single day, as when you wake up in the morning and set that intention and say, no, I'm gonna love myself, I'm gonna accept myself, and I know I'm worth it. And if you start talking to yourself, then at the same time, you're changing your mindset from a place where you feel that you're not worth it, that, also like a victim mentality as well. So you start shifting that every
Yeah.
day. It might take, probably a couple of months, but if you do it every single day, then you start shaping yourself and you start looking at yourself differently. And I would go back what he says, the flames of anger and the waves of sorrow will slowly die down. That's when you do the shift.
Yeah.
It's going to die down because you're making that shift, because your focus is more in yourself and how you're able to love yourself, how you're able to give yourself grace, and knowing who you are and knowing that you're worth it. So it's from there, you're coming out from that space and you create that energy so you'll be able to grow. So your mindset is on growing,
Mm,
not in that mentality of negativity. So it's like a going back and forward, trying to find the balance. But you're focusing here, and that's when you do the shift. And
that,
that's why I really love this song.
yeah.
It touches
That
all
was
those points.
That was beautiful, Ivania. And I just wanted to say, as you were saying that about the mindset shift, that you're basically coming out of victim mentality because when you feel your circumstances and the helplessness um, very intensely, it means that you have considered yourself a victim and you think you're going to be like that forever. So I just love how you articulated that. That made a few aha light bulbs go off in my head.
No, thank you. And then Shruti, if you can tell our audience what are the steps that they can do to, start healing themselves.
Oh my gosh, definitely. And so Ivania and I came up with this activity that we'd love for our audience to attempt in their own lives. So there are 3 steps. And the first step is simply to look at some of the activities where you feel rushed in your life. And try to understand what that rushing is about. Is it because this is a chore that you don't like to do? Is it because it is an activity that brings up shame or feelings of inadequacy in you? Or is it something that you think is beneath you? It's not an activity that you want to do. If you could hire someone, you would hire someone to do it, or have someone else take care of it for you, but you feel obligated in some way to do it. So that's where you want to begin. And then the next time that you're doing one of these activities, see if you can just either have a reminder, you could even, write somewhere where you can see it, or even on your hand to say, breathe. And is there a way that you can slow down the act of doing that action? So let's say that you really don't like grocery shopping and you're always in a hurry when you're trying to get into your car, or you're frustrated, you're throwing your bag down onto your seat. Can you just access your breath in that moment? So that's number 2. And number 3, the most important step that most of us skip, is every time you catch yourself and are able to breathe in that moment and slow down, celebrate yourself for being able to conquer your mind in that moment.
Yes.
And as you give yourself those little doses of positivity, your mind will rewire to doing that action a little bit slower, and it'll respond to that reinforcement, and especially that positive reinforcement at the end. So if you can try these 3 steps, you can begin to access healing right where you are in your life.
Yes. Thank you so much, Shruti. I love that. And thank you so much for coming in today. We really, really appreciate you. And if you like this, please like and subscribe. And if you think that somebody else is going to get some benefit listening to our podcast or watching us in our podcast, please share. Thank you so much.
Wonderful. We'll see you next time.
See you next time.